Welcome, everyone. If you're over 60, today's video might just change the way you think about seafood forever. We all know fish is often called brain food or heart food. Doctors recommend it. Dietitians put on senior meal plans, and magazines list it as a top anti-aging food. But here's the secret very few people talk about. Not all fish are created equal. Some of them can do more harm than good, especially as we age. Think about this. After 60, your metabolism slows down, your liver works a little harder, your kidneys are more sensitive, and your heart and brain rely heavily on the nutrients you put in your body. The same piece of fish that might have been neutral when you were 30 can now be a real risk at 65. In this video, I'm going to walk you step by step through two big categories. First, the 4 worst fish you should avoid or strictly limit, and why they can be dangerous for seniors. And then, the 4 best fish you should absolutely eat more often, because they can sharpen your mind, protect your heart, and even ease joint pain. We'll dive deep into farming practices, toxins, nutrient content, and real-life effects. My goal is not to scare you away from seafood, but to empower you. Because once you know which fish to choose and which to skip, you'll be able to enjoy your meals with confidence and protect your health at the same time. So grab a notebook or just listen closely. The first fish on the void list might surprise you. Worst fishes. Number 1, imported catfish. Let's start with a fish that many people love because it's cheap, mild, and easy to cook. Catfish. At first glance, catfish seems harmless. You can fry it, bake it, put it in soups or stews, and it's sold almost everywhere. For many families, especially in the South, catfish has even been part of tradition for generations. But here's the hidden problem. The majority of catfish in supermarkets and restaurants today isn't local. It's imported from overseas farms, mostly from places like Vietnam and China. And the way it's raised is the real danger. These imported farms are often overcrowded. Picture thousands of fish squeezed into shallow, murky ponds. The water is poorly regulated, sometimes polluted, and often recycled. Because disease spreads quickly in those conditions, farmers rely heavily on antibiotics, chemicals, and even ban substances to keep the fish alive. Over time, those substances don't just disappear. They build up in the fish's flesh. And when you eat it, they enter your body. Now, if you're over 60, this is where it gets risky. Your liver and kidneys, the organs that filter out toxins, aren't as efficient as they were when you were younger. That means chemical residues from fish can stay in your system longer. This can leave you feeling tired, bloated, or sluggish after meals. Some seniors even experience headaches, unexplained joint aches, or trouble sleeping without realizing diet is part of the problem. Let's break it down more clearly. Liver strain. Chemical residues force your liver to work overtime. Over years, that adds up, and it shows in routine blood work with slightly elevated liver enzymes. Kidney stress. Toxins in imported catfish can worsen kidney function, especially for seniors already managing high blood pressure or diabetes. Gut imbalance. Antibiotic residues can disrupt the good bacteria in your intestines. This weakens digestion and lowers immunity, making you more vulnerable to cold, infections, and stomach problems. Here's a story to make this real. Imagine a 65-year-old man named Robert. Every Friday night, he fries up catfish because it reminds him of his childhood in the South. He feels good knowing he's eating fish instead of red meat. But after a year of eating imported catfish weekly, Robert notices changes. His stomach feels heavy. His digestion slows down, and his doctor warns him about unusual liver readings on his blood test. Robert doesn't smoke or drink much. So what's the culprit? That weekly catfish dinner, loaded with chemical residues he never suspected. Another concern? Nutrition. Imported farm-raised catfish are often fed grain-based pellets, soy, or even waste byproducts instead of a natural diet. This creates a fish that's low in omega-3 fatty acids, the very nutrients seniors need for brain, heart, and joint health. Instead, these fish have higher omega-6 levels, which trigger inflammation. Chronic inflammation is a root cause of arthritis pain, clogged arteries, memory decline, and even insulin resistance. And one more thing people don't realize. Imported catfish often comes from areas where industrial pollution contaminates rivers and ponds. Heavy metals like lead and cadmium can seep into the fish. While each serving may only contain a small amount, over time these exposures add up, especially in seniors whose detox systems aren't as strong. The hardest part? As a consumer, you often don't know what you're getting. Grocery stores may label frozen fillets as product of Vietnam or product of China, but when you order fried catfish at a diner, the menu almost never tells you where it came from. Most of the time, it's imported. So what's a smart move? If you love catfish, don't give up completely, but choose U.S. farm catfish. In the United States, catfish farming is strictly regulated, with clean water standards and regular testing for chemicals. U.S. farm catfish provides protein and is much safer for seniors. Even better, you can swap imported catfish for other mild, flaky white fish such as cod, haddock, or Pacific pollock. They have a similar taste and texture, but without the risks. Cod, for example, is lower in contaminants, provides more omega-3s, and is easy to digest. So remember this rule. Catfish isn't bad, but imported catfish is. For seniors, it's one of the worst fish to eat regularly because it can quietly harm your liver, kidneys, digestion, and overall energy. Protect yourself by checking labels, asking questions at restaurants, and choosing safer local alternatives. Number 2, albacore and big-eye tuna. Now, let's talk about tuna. Tuna is one of the most popular fish in the world. Tuna sandwiches, tuna steaks, tuna sushi. But here's the hard truth. Certain types of tuna are loaded with mercury, and mercury is one of the biggest hidden dangers for people over 60. The two types you must be most cautious about are albacore and big-eye tuna. Why? Because these are larger species that live longer, and over time they accumulate much more mercury than smaller fish. Mercury is a heavy metal that doesn't just leave your body quickly. It builds up. For seniors, this is especially concerning. Mercury exposure is directly linked to memory problems, brain fog, mood swings, tremors, and even increased risk of Alzheimer's symptoms. For your cardiovascular system, it can push blood pressure up and make your heart rhythm unstable. Now, you might think, but I've eaten tuna for years and I feel fine. Remember, mercury damage doesn't show up overnight. It's like rust on a pipe. It builds up slowly, silently, until one day the pipe bursts. Another issue is digestion. Older adults process toxins more slowly. That means mercury stays in your system longer compared to a younger person. What can you do? Avoid albacore tuna. Limit sushi or sashimi with big-eye tuna. If you must have tuna, stick to light ken tuna, which usually comes from smaller species like skipjack. Even then, keep it to once or twice a month. The takeaway? Tuna is not the safe, everyday fish people think it is. For seniors, albacore and big-eye can be ticking time bombs. Number 3, king mackerel. Next up, king mackerel. Not to be confused with the smaller Atlantic or Spanish mackerel, which are safer. King mackerel, however, is another high-mercury predator fish. The species grows large and lives long, which means mercury levels climb dangerously high. For seniors, the risk is amplified. Mercury weakens the nervous system, slows reflexes, and in some cases contributes to balance issues and tremors. That's the last thing you want in your golden years. Here's another problem. Many restaurants and even fish markets don't clearly label which mackerel you're getting. People just see mackerel and assume it's all the same. But there's a big difference. The king variety is the one to avoid. For older adults, even small mercury exposures can affect vision, mood stability, and sleep cycles. And since sleep is already more fragile after 60, adding mercury into the mix is like pouring fuel on the fire. So, how to be safe? If you love mackerel, go for Atlantic or Spanish mackerel. They're smaller, lower in mercury, and still provide a great dose of omega-3. But king mackerel? Cross it off your shopping list completely. Number 4, most farmed tilapia. Finally, let's look at tilapia. Tilapia is one of the most consumed fish in America. It's cheap, mild, and cooks quickly. But here's the truth. Most farm tilapia is a terrible choice for seniors. The issue isn't mercury. Tilapia is actually low in mercury. The problem is its fat profile. Farm tilapia often contains more omega-6 fatty acids and omega-3s. And omega-6 in high amounts is inflammatory. Inflammation is the root of many health issues in older adults. Arthritis, pain, clogged arteries, insulin resistance, even memory decline. In fact, some studies found that eating farm tilapia could trigger as much inflammation as eating bacon or burgers. That's shocking because people choose tilapia thinking it's a healthy option. Another issue, farming practices. In many countries, tilapia are raised in crowded ponds, sometimes fed soy or corn waste, and kept alive with antibiotics. The result is a fish that looks healthy on your plate, but offers very little nutrition. Now, does this mean all tilapia is bad? Not necessarily. U.S. farm tilapia or tilapia certified by organizations like the Aquaculture Stewardship Council is much safer. But since most tilapia in supermarkets is imported from Asia or Latin America, it's hard to know the source. So unless you can trace where your tilapia comes from, it's best to avoid it. There are far better options we'll discuss in the next section. Best fishes. Number 1, rainbow trout. Now that we've talked about fish to avoid, let's flip the script and look at the ones you should embrace. First on the list is rainbow trout, especially when it's farmed right here in the United States under regulated conditions. Rainbow trout is often called a senior superfood, and for good reason. It's one of the cleanest, safest, and most nutrient-packed fish you can put on your plate. Let me explain why it's so powerful. First, trout is rich in omega-3 fatty acids. These healthy fats are like medicine for your heart and brain. After age 60, your risk of heart disease, memory decline, and inflammation all increase. Omega-3s act like firefighters inside your body. They lower inflammation, protect blood vessels, improve circulation, and even keep your brain cells communicating smoothly. Seniors who eat omega-3 rich fish regularly often report sharper memory, less joint stiffness, and even improved mood. Second, rainbow trout is low in mercury. That's a huge advantage compared to bigger fish like tuna or swordfish. Mercury can accumulate in the brain and nervous system, leading to fatigue, tremors, or brain fog over time. For seniors who may already be more sensitive to toxins, eating a low-mercury fish like trout is a smart, safe choice. Third, trout is loaded with high-quality protein. Once you pass 60, your body naturally loses muscle mass, a process called sarcopenia. This loss of muscle makes daily tasks harder, increases the risk of falls, and slows metabolism. Eating protein-rich, nutrient-dense fish like trout gives your body the building blocks it needs to preserve lean muscle. That means more strength, more energy, and more independence as you age. But it doesn't stop there. Rainbow trout is also a great source of vitamin D, essential for bone health, helping prevent osteoporosis and fractures. It also strengthens your immune system, which tend to weaken with age. B vitamins, especially B12. These keep your energy levels steady, support nerve health, and help prevent anemia. Many seniors struggle with low B12, which leads to fatigue, tingling, or memory issues. Trout is a natural way to boost those levels. Selenium and phosphorus. These minerals support thyroid function, protect your cells from oxidative stress, and keep your bones strong. Now, let's talk about safety in farming. U.S. farmed rainbow trout is raised in freshwater under strict environmental and food safety standards. Unlike many imported fish, it doesn't come packed with antibiotics, harmful chemicals, or polluted water residues. These regulated conditions mean that what you're eating is pure, clean, and nourishing. To make this more relatable, let's imagine Mary, a 70-year-old woman who has always loved cooking for her grandkids. She recently decided to cut back on red meat after a doctor warned her about cholesterol. At first, she worried she'd lose flavor and satisfaction at mealtime, but then she tried baking rainbow trout with lemon and herbs. Not only did it taste amazing, but over the next few months, Mary noticed her energy improved. Her doctor even praised her improved cholesterol numbers, and she felt confident she could keep up with her grandkids again. That's the kind of difference this fish can make. Another benefit? Versatility. Rainbow trout is mild and slightly nutty in flavor, making it easy to enjoy baked, grilled, pan-seared, or even added to salads. Unlike some stronger tasting fish, it doesn't overwhelm the palate, so even picky eaters enjoy it. And here's the key point. Not all fish are created equal. Choosing rainbow trout instead of imported farm fish like tilapia or catfish means you're trading empty calories and potential toxins for genuine nourishment that protects your long-term health. So next time you're at the grocery store or ordering fish at a restaurant, look for rainbow trout, especially labeled U.S. farmed. It's one of the cleanest, safest, and most beneficial fish you can eat, especially after 60. Your heart, brain, muscles, and bones will all thank you for it. Number 2, wild Alaskan salmon. Second, wild Alaskan salmon. This is the gold standard of healthy fish for seniors. Wild salmon is bursting with omega-3 fatty acids, which help reduce inflammation, lower blood pressure, and keep your brain sharp. Omega-3s are so critical that some doctors actually recommend seniors eat salmon at least once a week. These fats act like oil for your joints, protect the heart, and even slow cognitive decline. But here's the important part. You want wild Alaskan salmon, not farmed Atlantic salmon. Farmed salmon often contains contaminants and has a weaker nutrient profile. Wild Alaskan salmon, on the other hand, is tested clean and sustainably caught. It's also rich in astaxanthin, a natural antioxidant that gives salmon its red color. This antioxidant helps protect your eyes, skin, and immune system. So when you shop, look for labels that say Wild Alaskan. That's your best bet for safety and nutrition. Number 3, sardines. Third, sardines. Don't underestimate these tiny fish. They are one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. Because they're small and low on the food chain, they contain almost no mercury. For seniors, sardines provide calcium for bone strength, vitamin B12 for brain and nerve function, and of course, omega-3s for heart and joint health. If you buy them canned in olive oil or water, they're inexpensive and easy to store. Eating sardines even twice a week can boost energy levels, strengthen bones, and protect against memory loss. Many people overlook them because of their strong taste, but if you can acquire the taste, your body will thank you. Number 4, Pacific cod. Finally, Pacific cod. This mild, flaky white fish is another great choice for seniors. Cod is low in calories, high in lean protein, and easy to digest, perfect for older adults who may struggle with heavier meals. It's also a good source of selenium, which supports thyroid function and immunity. Plus, it provides you vitamins and phosphorus, which help maintain strong bones and steady energy. Pacific cod is widely available, often affordable, and low in mercury. It's one of those safe, go-to fish you can eat regularly without worry. Just be sure you're buying Pacific cod, not Atlantic cod, which is overfished and sometimes mislabeled. Remember, it's not just about avoiding the bad. It's about choosing the good. Every bite after 60 should work in your favor. Pick the fish that nourish your brain, protect your heart, and strengthen your bones. And don't forget variety. Rotate these fish, cook them gently, baked, grilled, or steamed, and pair them with vegetables and whole grains. Your senior years can be your healthiest years if you eat smart. Fish can either be your best friend or your silent enemy. Now you know which is which. Thank you for joining me today. If this video was helpful, share it with a friend or loved one over 60. Knowledge is health, and together we can all age with strength, clarity, and energy